Ladies and gentlemen, life is a series of moments, some filled with joy and others laden with challenges. But what if we could approach each of these moments with a sense of calm and resilience, no matter what life throws our way? What if, instead of being overwhelmed by obstacles, we could act as if nothing bothers us? Imagine the power, the freedom, and the unshakable strength we carry with us every single day. To act as if nothing bothers you is not about pretending to be invincible or indifferent to the difficulties of life. It's about embracing a mindset that shields us from being overwhelmed by external circumstances. It's about choosing how we respond to the world and deciding that we are the ones who control our peace, our joy, and our focus. Let's explore how we can embody this powerful mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the core aspects of acting as if nothing bothers you is emotional resilience. Resilience is not just a buzzword or a concept, it is a powerful force that shapes our ability to navigate the unpredictable and sometimes turbulent waters of life. It's the foundation upon which we build our ability to withstand hardship, recover from setbacks, and continue moving forward with strength and purpose. Resilience is what allows us to stand tall in the face of adversity, refusing to be defeated by the storms of life. But what does it truly mean to be emotionally resilient? It means developing the ability to face challenges head-on without being swallowed by them. It means that when life knocks you down, whether through disappointment, failure, loss, or frustration, you rise again, even stronger than before. Resilience is not the absence of emotion or struggle, rather, it is the ability to process those emotions in a healthy way, learn from them, and keep going. We often view emotional pain as something to be avoided or feared, but true emotional resilience teaches us to embrace it. It allows us to understand that pain, stress, and setbacks are inevitable parts of life. And rather than letting them break us, we learn to use them as tools for growth. Resilient people don't suppress their emotions. They acknowledge them, understand them, and move through them with a sense of purpose and clarity. They recognize that the most difficult moments in life are also the most powerful opportunities for transformation. Imagine for a moment how your life would change if you could truly embody emotional resilience. When you face a challenging situation, instead of feeling overwhelmed or helpless, you would meet it with a calm sense of determination. Rather than allowing frustration or anxiety to take hold, you would be able to see the bigger picture and adjust your focus to what matters most. This mindset doesn't mean you won't feel hurt, upset, or uncertain, but it allows you to control your reaction to those feelings. It's like walking into a storm with your umbrella open while the rain may pour and the winds may blow. You are protected from being completely drenched. Emotional resilience works in much the same way. It provides you with the mental and emotional tools to endure hardship without being completely consumed by it. You may not be able to control the storm, but you can control how you respond to it. Building emotional resilience starts with acceptance. Accept that life will challenge you and that not every obstacle is going to be easy to overcome. When you stop resisting challenges, you create space for growth. Rather than seeing adversity as an enemy, you can begin to view it as an opportunity to strengthen your emotional muscles. Resilience comes not from avoiding hardship, but from learning to meet it head-on, learning from it, and using it as fuel for your future endeavors. One of the key aspects of emotional resilience is the ability to reframe difficult situations. When you encounter adversity, instead of focusing on how unfair or upsetting it is, try to reframe it in a way that serves you. For example, when you experience a setback at work, instead of viewing it as a failure, see it as a lesson, a chance to refine your skills and approach. When faced with personal conflict, instead of letting it chip away at your confidence or self-worth, use it as an opportunity to learn about yourself and your boundaries. Emotional resilience allows you to turn every challenge into a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. Another critical component of resilience is perspective. In moments of emotional turmoil, it's easy to feel a situation is insurmountable, that it will define you or that it will never end. But resilience teaches you that no situation, no matter how difficult, is permanent. The storm will pass, the pain will subside, and with time you will emerge stronger. Keeping this perspective is essential to maintaining emotional resilience. It reminds you that the present moment, no matter how painful, is just a fleeting chapter in a much larger story. And this chapter does not define your entire journey. Finally, emotional resilience is about trust in yourself and in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. It's about cultivating a deep belief that no matter what happens, you will be okay. This trust is not based on blind optimism or ignoring reality. It is based on the understanding that you have survived past challenges and you will continue to adapt and thrive in the future. Trusting yourself means knowing that you have the tools, strength, and capacity to cope with difficult emotions and situations, and that, with time, you will find your way forward. In conclusion, emotional resilience is the bedrock upon which the ability to act as if nothing bothers you is built. It's not about pretending to be impervious to pain or hardship, but about developing the strength to move through life's challenges with grace and determination. Emotional resilience allows you to face difficult situations with courage, learn from them, and keep moving forward without allowing them to define your journey. It teaches you that you are not your struggles, but a person who is capable of overcoming them. And when you cultivate this resilience, nothing in life can truly shake your foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, in our modern world, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. We are bombarded with constant news cycles, social media feeds, and the endless demands of our personal and professional lives. The noise of the outside world can become deafening, pulling us in every direction and leaving us feeling disoriented, anxious, and stressed. In these moments when the outside world becomes chaotic, it's crucial to remember that you have the ability to cultivate inner peace. Inner peace is not a luxury. It is a necessity for our well-being, happiness, and overall sense of fulfillment. It is not something that is easily found outside of ourselves in external circumstances or material possessions. It is not something that can be achieved by waiting for the world to slow down or for life to become less challenging. Inner peace is a choice we make, an intentional act of grounding ourselves despite the turbulence around us. It's the ability to remain calm, focused, and centered regardless of what is happening in the external world. So how do we cultivate this inner peace? How do we tap into a calm, serene state even when everything around us is falling apart? The answer lies in developing practices and habits that help us build a strong foundation of peace within ourselves. Here are several key steps to guide you on this journey. Embrace the power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating inner peace. It is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or attachment to the past or future. Mindfulness allows you to detach from the noise of the world and center your thoughts and feelings in the here and now. When you practice mindfulness, you stop worrying about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. You allow yourself to experience life as it is, without resistance. In moments of chaos, practicing mindfulness can help you regain your composure and bring your focus back to the present moment. You don't have to change what is happening around you. You only need to shift your awareness and attention. When you breathe deeply and focus on the sensations of your body, the sounds around you, and the rhythm of your thoughts, you can create a sense of peace, no matter how loud or overwhelming the world may seem. You can start small by integrating simple mindfulness techniques into your daily routine. For example, try focusing on your breath for a few minutes every day. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, and exhale slowly. As you do this, try to let go of any worries or distractions. Focus only on the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. This simple practice, repeated regularly, can help you build a sense of calm that will stay with you, even in the midst of chaos. Create healthy boundaries. In order to cultivate and maintain inner peace, it is important to establish healthy boundaries. In a world that constantly pulls at our attention and energy, setting clear boundaries is essential for preserving our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Boundaries are the limits we place on what we will and will not tolerate in our lives. They define the space we need in order to protect our peace and ensure that we are not overwhelmed or drained by the demands of others. Without boundaries, we risk becoming victims of the chaos around us. We might feel like we are always reacting to others, constantly on edge, and unable to focus on what truly matters. But when we establish healthy boundaries, we create a sense of order and control in our lives. We take ownership of our time, our energy, and our emotional well-being. We can say no to things that do not align with our values or that threaten our peace, and we can say yes to the things that nourish and sustain us. Creating healthy boundaries begins with self-awareness. Take time to reflect on what drains you and what energizes you. Identify the relationships, tasks, or environments that leave you feeling depleted or overwhelmed, and set limits around them. This might mean saying no to an invitation, turning off your phone during certain hours, or taking time for yourself when you need it. Remember, your peace is yours to protect, and it is okay to prioritize your well-being above all else. Engage in regular reflection and stillness. In a world that values busyness and constant motion, it can be difficult to find moments of stillness. But stillness is essential for cultivating inner peace. When we are constantly on the go, our minds are cluttered with noise and distraction, making it difficult to connect with our deeper sense of self. Taking time for reflection and quiet is like giving your mind a much-needed break, allowing it to reset and find peace amidst the chaos. Engage in regular moments of stillness throughout your day. This might mean setting aside time in the morning to meditate, going for a quiet walk in nature, or simply sitting in silence for a few minutes each day. Use this time to connect with your thoughts, your feelings, and your breath. It is in these moments of quiet reflection that you can tap into a sense of peace that transcends the external world. Ladies and gentlemen, our thoughts are incredibly powerful. They shape how we experience the world, how we view ourselves, and how we react to the challenges that life throws our way. In many ways, our thoughts are the lens through which we perceive reality, and the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives. The mind is a powerful tool, but it can also be a source of distress if we allow negative, unproductive, or overwhelming thoughts to take control. It's easy to feel like our thoughts are beyond our control, especially in times of stress, uncertainty, or difficulty. It can seem like our minds are constantly racing with thoughts appearing and disappearing like waves in the ocean. In such moments, it may feel impossible to quiet the mind or change the trajectory of our thoughts. But the truth is, we have more control over our thoughts than we often realize. The key to a more peaceful, focused, and fulfilled life is learning to control our thoughts rather than allowing them to control us. When we talk about controlling our thoughts, it doesn't mean forcing ourselves to only think positive or pretending that difficult emotions and thoughts don't exist. It's not about suppressing our feelings or trying to create a false sense of calm. Instead, it's about understanding that we have the power to choose how we engage with our thoughts. We can choose to focus on what serves us and let go of what doesn't. We can redirect our attention, reframe our thinking, and manage the flow of our thoughts to align with our goals, values, and sense of inner peace. At the heart of controlling your thoughts is the realization that not every thought deserves your attention. Many of our thoughts are fleeting, passing through our minds without any deeper meaning. In fact, many of the thoughts we have are repetitive and unproductive, circulating in our minds without serving a real purpose. These thoughts often come from old habits, fears, or conditioned responses that we've built up over time. They may be triggered by external events, by memories, or by our own insecurities. But the fact is, we don't have to hold on to them. When a thought arises, we have the choice to acknowledge it and let it pass by without attaching any emotion or judgment to it. Think of it like a cloud passing across the sky. Just because the cloud is there doesn't mean we need to fixate on it or believe that it defines the sky. Similarly, just because a thought comes to mind, it doesn't mean that thought defines us, our day, or our reality. We can simply observe the thought and allow it to move on, rather than letting it take root and grow. However, controlling our thoughts doesn't mean ignoring the emotions or situations that lead to negative thinking. It's important to acknowledge when a thought or feeling arises and to give ourselves the space to process it. When you find yourself thinking something negative, perhaps about yourself, your circumstances, or the future, it's not about denying those feelings, but rather about recognizing them without allowing them to consume your entire mindset. By observing your thoughts without judgment, you create the distance needed to decide whether or not you want to hold on to them. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," you can acknowledge that the thought is there, but you don't have to agree with it. Instead, you can gently challenge that thought with a different perspective, one that aligns more closely with your reality. You might think, "That's not true. I've overcome challenges before, and I am capable of handling this situation as well." This is an example of thought reframing, a technique that involves changing the way we view a situation or belief in order to shift our emotional response. By practicing reframing, we take control of the narrative that our thoughts create. Rather than falling victim to negative self-talk, we choose to focus on the more empowering, balanced, and constructive thoughts. Over time, this rewiring of thought patterns helps us develop a healthier, more supportive mindset that is more aligned with who we truly are and what we truly want. Another important step in controlling your thoughts is becoming aware of cognitive distortions. These are patterns of thought that consistently reinforce negative or unrealistic beliefs about ourselves or the world. Common cognitive distortions include black and white thinking, viewing situations as all good or all bad, catastrophizing, expecting the worst possible outcome, and focusing solely on the negative aspects of a situation while ignoring the positive. These distortions keep us trapped in a cycle of fear, anxiety, and self-doubt, and they make it even harder to maintain a positive and balanced mindset. The first step in overcoming cognitive distortions is awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise in moments of stress or uncertainty. Are you catastrophizing? Are you seeing things in extremes? Once you identify these patterns, you can consciously choose to challenge them. For instance, if you notice yourself engaging in black and white thinking, you can remind yourself that there are often many shades of gray in any situation. If you catch yourself filtering out the positive, you can pause and intentionally focus on the aspects of the situation that are going well. At the same time, it's important to recognize the role of mindfulness in controlling your thoughts. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment without judgment or attachment to your thoughts. When we practice mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts as they come and go, rather than becoming entangled in them. We recognize that thoughts are not facts and that they do not define us. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a sense of detachment from our thoughts so that we can experience life more fully and clearly without being ruled by our mental chatter. When you're able to detach from your thoughts and view them objectively, you can make more intentional choices about how to respond to them. Rather than reacting impulsively or automatically, you can take a step back and ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is this thought true? What would be a more productive or empowering way of thinking about this situation? In this way, mindfulness allows us to slow down the rapid stream of thoughts that often overwhelm us and regain control over our mental state. One of the most powerful tools in controlling your thoughts is learning how to focus your mind. In a world filled with distractions, it can be easy to feel like we are being pulled in many different directions at once. Our minds jump from one thought to another, and we often struggle to stay focused on the task at hand. But with practice, we can learn to direct our attention and focus on the present moment, on the task before us, and on the thoughts that will help us achieve our goals. One effective way to practice focus is through concentration exercises. This could be something as simple as focusing on your breath, a specific object, or a sound for a set period of time. By training your mind to focus on a single point of attention, you gradually improve your ability to control your thoughts and direct your energy where it is most needed. Finally, another crucial aspect of controlling your thoughts is self-compassion. Being kind to yourself when negative or challenging thoughts arise is an essential part of the process. Instead of being critical or judgmental about your thoughts, treat yourself with the same care and understanding you would offer to a friend who was struggling. Understand that it is normal for negative thoughts to arise, but they do not have to define you. By practicing self-compassion, you give yourself the freedom to move through difficult moments without being overwhelmed by your thoughts. The power to control your thoughts is a transformative one. When you learn to manage your mental landscape, you regain control over your emotional responses, your actions, and your overall well-being. You realize that your thoughts do not dictate your life, but rather you have the ability to choose how you respond to them. By practicing mindfulness, reframing negative thoughts, challenging cognitive distortions, and fostering self-compassion, you create a mental environment where peace, clarity, and focus can flourish. So, the next time your mind begins to race or a negative thought takes hold, remember that you have the power to choose your thoughts. You don't have to be a prisoner to your own mind. By taking control of your thoughts, you can take control of your life. And with that control comes the freedom to live with purpose, peace, and unwavering confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, in life, one of the most powerful and often underappreciated abilities we possess is the power of choice. Every day, in almost every moment, we are faced with decisions. Some may seem insignificant, others life-changing. But each choice we make has the potential to shape our path, our mindset, and ultimately, our destiny. The ability to choose is something that separates us from the many forces in life that are beyond our control. While we cannot control everything that happens to us, we always have the power to choose how we respond, how we act, and how we move forward. The beauty of choice is that it is an act of self-empowerment. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, the power to choose gives us a sense of agency. It is a reminder that, despite the external challenges we may face, we are not passive participants in our own lives. We are the ones who hold the pen and can write the story of our journey. With each decision, we exercise our freedom, our autonomy, and our ability to create the life we desire. However, while the power of choice is a gift, it is also one that requires responsibility. Every choice we make, whether conscious or unconscious, leads to consequences, some immediate, others unfolding over time. The act of choosing can be empowering, but it also demands that we take ownership of the outcomes, both good and bad. It is easy to blame external circumstances or other people when things don't go the way we want, but the truth is, we are often the ones who have the power to influence the course of our lives. We might not always be able to control the situations we find ourselves in, but we can always control how we respond to them. One of the most liberating aspects of embracing the power of choice is recognizing that it allows us to let go of victimhood. When we realize that we have the ability to choose how we respond to the events in our lives, we free ourselves from the belief that we are helpless in the face of adversity. This doesn't mean that everything will always turn out the way we hope, but it does mean that we have the agency to make the best of what is in our control. Instead of feeling powerless, we become active participants in shaping our future. Embracing the power of choice also means accepting that not all decisions will be perfect. We are human and we will make mistakes along the way, but even in our mistakes, we have the power to choose how we move forward. We can choose to learn from our errors, to forgive ourselves, and to adjust our course accordingly. Each mistake is a lesson, and with each lesson comes greater wisdom and understanding. The key is not to fear making the wrong choice, but to trust that whatever path we take, we can always recalibrate and choose again. Ultimately, the power of choice lies in the freedom it grants us. It allows us to move away from the notion that we are subject to fate, circumstance, or the whims of others. It reminds us that we have the ability to decide how we will live, how we will think, and how we will interact with the world around us. And this power, when embraced fully, becomes the key to living a life of purpose, intention, and fulfillment. When we truly recognize the power of choice, we begin to understand that our lives are not the sum of the circumstances we are born into or the events that happen to us. Our lives are the result of the choices we make every day. And when we make choices that align with our values, our purpose, and our desires, we create a life that is meaningful and authentic. As we come to the end of this discussion about the power of choice, I want to leave you with a story that beautifully illustrates just how transformative the act of choosing can be. There was once a young man named Daniel. He grew up in a small town, facing numerous challenges that seemed insurmountable. His family struggled financially, and the community he lived in was filled with hardship and discouragement. From a young age, Daniel was told that his dreams were too big, that he would never amount to anything. His environment and circumstances seemed to dictate his future, and for many years, Daniel believed that he was destined to live a life of limitation, just like those around him. But one day, something shifted within Daniel. He was sitting alone, reflecting on his life, and he suddenly realized that he had a choice. It wasn't a grand, dramatic moment. It was simply an awareness that he didn't have to accept the life he was living, that he didn't have to follow the path everyone else had walked. For the first time, Daniel understood that no matter how difficult his circumstances were, he could choose how he responded to them. He could choose to stay stuck, or he could choose to take action, to believe in his potential, and to chase his dreams. With this realization, Daniel made a series of small but powerful decisions. He chose to stop listening to the voices that told him he couldn't. He chose to work harder, to learn more, and to reach out to those who could help him. He chose to believe in himself, even when no one else did. It wasn't an easy journey. There were many setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when it seemed like the world was working against him. But through it all, Daniel held onto the power of his choices. Years later, Daniel became a successful entrepreneur, running his own business and helping others who were facing the same struggles he once did. His life was no longer defined by his circumstances, but by the choices he had made. And he would always say that the most pivotal moment in his life was when he realized that no matter where he came from, no matter how impossible things seemed, he always had the power to choose his path. This story is a reminder to us all. Life may not always be easy, There will be times when we feel lost, overwhelmed, or trapped by our circumstances. But we always have a choice. We can choose to see obstacles as opportunities. We can choose to rise above the negativity. We can choose to take responsibility for our lives and make decisions that align with who we truly want to be. So as you leave here today, remember that the power to choose is always in your hands. It may not always be easy, but it is always within your reach. And with each choice, you create the life you are meant to live. Choose wisely, choose boldly, and choose to live the life you deserve. Thank you.